Okay, hello. I'm going to be offering a segment of movements that come from the Feldenkrais somatic therapy method, and they're specifically designed to help you explore your range of motion, to also help you explore your body-mind connection, to how your consciousness is related to body restriction, to body freedom, and to also be able to relearn and repattern your beliefs, which reflect in the body and reflect in the mind-body network. So remembering that the nerves come into all the tissues and help us to be animated in all of our square inches. So there's no part of the rest of the body that's not part of the brain, because it's all connected by nerves. And the feedback that we gain by using our body helps us to make stronger connections and to reinforce the networks that help to make sure that our body is operating at its optimal. There's also opportunity to recognize how your beliefs can change, and we're going to explore how to use this technique more than just a series of movements, but also a process and a practice and a meditation that can be done repetitively over time as you take measurements of your progress and your ability to move more freely, to meet your restrictions with compassion and with curiosity and all of those other things that we might want to navigate in our recovery work and in our healing and in our self-love and self-worth practices. So we're going to get started by going through the motions, and I'll explain how that's working. So most importantly, you need to know that you have free movement around your body. So you want to make sure that if you're going to stretch out, that you're not going to bump into anything over there or bump into anything over there. So try to make sure that you create a space on the floor that's wide and open so that you're able to be comfortable as you stretch and be able to open fully. Now I'm first going to demonstrate this at the level of greatest support, which means using a lot of props and objects. So for now, if you have a neck issue which does not allow you to lay comfortably on your side and to have your neck still laying on the ground, if this is really intolerable for you, then you can bring something more firm as a folded blanket as opposed to a squishy pillow, something that might get in your way also as you're moving around. This is acceptable, although the ideal is to continue to learn how to teach your neck, teach yourself how your neck can come down and be supported. So the first thing that we want to do is make sure that we're in alignment, that all of the parts of the body are stacked on top of one another evenly and equally. So my knees are going to be bent at a 90-degree angle, which means straight out from the hip, straight down on the lower leg like a box or a square. And then my arms are also going to come out at a completely 90-degree angle here from the shoulder joint. So we're starting out with the spine in a very level position so that the spine level is maintained. And we start out by making our hands equal. So you want the fingers to be together, even though there may be a tendency to have one hand rest here or like this, vice versa. Start by bringing the fingertips together and making your hands equal. So we begin here, and we want to go through the motions with ease and with grace and as comfortable as possible, and so go slowly, and I'll demonstrate and then we'll work on supporting postures. So what we're doing is we're going to draw a circle, an arc like a rainbow, around the top of our body, up over our head and to our back. And we're using this 90-degree starting position as our beginning point of orientation. So then we begin with the upper hand touching the ground with the fingertips to draw a circle or a rainbow, the arc, around our head with the goal of keeping the fingertips down on the floor the whole way. This will naturally make you want to open your body as you come around, and that's appropriate. It's totally acceptable to open up your body, and in fact is inviting a greater openness, greater range of motion in this joint, in the chest area, in the neck, everywhere. At some point, you can't touch the ground anymore because you touched your body. So your fingers will run up the buttocks, over the hips, down the legs, and continuing to make contact with the fingertips only will come forward and close the circle. Now you'll notice how when I landed, I'm going to really take a note of this, where my fingertips came in reference to the other fingertips, which are not perfectly aligned. So that tells me a little bit about my shoulder orientation. So this is the way that we test ourselves as we move around in repetition. So now I'm going to draw that circle again a little bit more slowly. The goal is to take your time and to allow yourself to take full, deep breaths, not hurrying or rushing through the process. And we're going to work on keeping, as I said before, the fingertips down all the way around as best as you are able, if possible. And if it is not necessarily possible right now as you begin this exercise, that's also okay. You will develop an ability to be able to do so, and I will demonstrate for you ways that you can support yourself through that. So I've gotten a little bit closer. I was a little bit more careful about opening my shoulder joint in the back, and it's actually the reverse of where the fingers were resting last time. So now that I've demonstrated the circular motion, I'm going to do it without talking, with the breath, so that you can understand that and integrate that component. Now you can stop and rest in between your movements. You can also stop at any point in your movement where you feel stiff or sticky or stuck. And just take a big deep breath and try to expand a little bit, and then relax on your exhale. And always initiate your movements on your exhale when you are naturally coming into the most relaxed muscular state and mental state with your exhale. So you can also, in this case, I'm going to turn around and show it to you from the back. So now for support reasons, if it's very challenging to get the arm back, you can use one of these commonly found body pillows and scoot it up underneath your back here, putting a little bit of body weight, like jamming it in like a shim. And then when you come back, you can rest against it and just stay for a while if you need to. At points, as I said before, which are sticky and don't move as fluidly. And it's good to just allow, it's beneficial, most beneficial to allow several moments or minutes to just breathe deeply through this sticky place and to allow it to unfold at its own sort of pace, and also taking the opportunity to invite conversation with it by asking, what the tension is all about, and really just allowing it to be and listening to it and letting it tell you what that tension is that you're carrying, perhaps even delivering for you a memory or a feeling that you've stored in your body there for a while. And it's wonderful to be able to invite all of those sensations that might come and all of those opportunities to work with and touch your own recovery in your body-mind. So that's a pretty deep support. You can do a less thick support wherever you might need it for lower back support or for upper neck and shoulder support. If it gets very tight in this area, you can see how this can allow you to have plenty of opportunity to just stop and rest in any position that you might find yourself needing someplace where you want to just pause and let that unwinding effect take place. These are also really great tools, one of my favorites, that you can use to just put underneath places that don't want to lay down flat. If you have a lot of tension in this place and it just like sits there and it's hard, you can just learn to rest, and then you can still have that support. That's okay. At any place that you might want to rest that arm. Maybe you don't need to have the back support, but having the wrist support might be nice. Like so. And then if it's very challenging to have your knees together like this, it's okay to have your legs supported in this way while you work on the arms, on the upper arm area. If you're just going through this motion, then the legs can stay stationary. Just making sure that the ankles are also supported equally, whether that's with a big pillow like this or with a blanket stack or a couple of blankets. Make sure it's not too squishy, that it's firm. And then the other segment of this exercise is to also incorporate the legs. And again, working with nice straight lines, making sure that the 90-degree angles are supported for your spine's integrity. And then learning to reach out to the greatest distance you have here without collapsing too far forward, with the hands as the guide. As long as your hands are together at the fingertips, then you know that you're staying stacked properly, and you can orient the legs and the hips according to that. And then from here, you're sliding with the toes down all the way around to the greatest extension point. And then you can come back. You can rest there. You can come back and draw the circle in reverse, which exercises the muscles in a different way. Or you can come from here, drawing back up to the folded position, and then move into the next round from this angle. And you'll notice all the different exercises of the hip are able to be activated. And so each time, just learning more and more about the body's ability, the body's comfort level. And again, you can use the supports. If you would like to rest the leg at this place, just to allow the deep muscles of the hip flexors to unwind a little bit more slowly, and to get comfortable with being in this open position, especially if they're not comfortable with usually being open in that position and might want to spasm or do different things of that sort. So that's another way to support the body through this motion. And when beginning, it's okay to do this segment and then this segment, and then you're just working on your abilities. And then you can integrate them after you get comfortable with both of them and you feel like opening. Then you're able to take the whole leg as you wrap it around and you draw the arm across the body and the leg opens out. Wherever you land, you just rest. And that's the first stage of it. There is also another practice with the hands and arms where you are learning this drawing technique. Up and open. And you're welcome to practice that as well. This is very meditative exercise. Very relaxing, very soothing to the nervous system. And it also prepares you for that exercise when we're opening into that expansion. When you're able to draw from here, you can integrate these motions in ways that feel very natural to the body, in ways that feel very restorative and also feel playful. So don't forget to invite that aspect of just welcoming exploration and welcoming movement in the body and the breath, inviting the breath and the body as often as possible to synchronize and to work together. Like I said, initiating movement on the exhale, initiating the movement on breath, and then allowing your exhales to provide that space where the tension can just unravel itself and unwind. Knowing that you have access to different various tools that can help support you, so you don't have to feel like this is uncomfortable or difficult. It's actually really very simple, and it affords plenty of space to be able to be in your personal practice with your body and your mind and your consciousness and your being for your greatest wellness. I hope you enjoy and that was clear for you. And if there's any questions that you have or anything, please reach out and we can counsel privately on that and go from there. So I wish you much enjoyment in the process. Take care.